Okay. Hey guys, what's going on? Drew here, thatanxietyguy.com. With me today is my friend Leslie Gustafson, all the way from Colorado, who has agreed to spend some time with us today and talk about the topic of anxiety disorders and sex and intimacy. Yes, Leslie?
Yes, absolutely. So
Okay,
glad to be.
so yeah. Thanks for taking the time. Really appreciate it. So I'll give you the 30-second version of where Leslie comes from. Leslie is a clinical psychologist, correct?
Nope, I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist and a certified sex therapist.
Okay, good answer. So I screwed up right away. Strike one on
Some
Drew.
people, some people call me doctor, but it's not technically accurate.
Yeah, okay, no problem. So no problem. So Leslie comes from that background of therapy, and you had mentioned to me in a previous chat that you had spent some time even treating anxiety disorders in the past.
I still treat anxiety disorders because anxiety disorders are so prevalent and show up in my office all of the time. More specifically, early on, I was doing only anxiety and depression and bipolar, but I work with couples a lot, and also everybody walks in with everything. So yeah.
There you go.
Mhm.
It's a good combo. So Leslie brings that to the table and that specialization in marriage and intimacy therapy and sex therapy and good. So
Mhm.
one of the things that comes up a lot, one topic that comes up a lot in our discussion forum and around the podcast is the topic of how these anxiety issues, panic disorder, panic attacks, agoraphobia impact intimacy, relationships, and people's sex lives. So it appears to be a topic that many people have on their minds, not too many people feel comfortable discussing. And I thought it would be worth spending 20, 30 minutes together, kind of kicking it around.
Fantastic.
So I don't know if this is something that you see on as part of your daily travels or not, but I mean, it's a thing. It seems to be a real thing.
Yeah, the struggle with anxiety and sexuality, or the
Yes.
struggle with anxiety in general. In
Yeah.
general, sure.
Well, in general, definitely, and how it impacts relationships and intimacy and sex
Yeah.
for sure.
And I would say, I was talking on Instagram, I would say that I often run into over time when I'm working with a couple that the culprit, in fact, was anxiety that was getting in the way, and
Really?
they couldn't move through it, and they thought it was a bunch of other things, but it was really once the anxiety got treated with kind of the standard cognitive behavioral and medication uh, uh, protocols that they were like, oh my gosh, I'm so different now
That's amazing.
and available for sex, which was when
Hmm.
you're in a really heightened state. You and I have talked about it. Sex is the opposite of a heightened central nervous system and an anxious person. In fact, we can't even function sexually when we're anxious because we need to be relaxed.
Yes.
And to come in with anxiety in the bedroom at any level, but some of it's more manageable. But when it's too high, you can't even settle in to connecting.
That's true.
And so I would say it's a culprit for many couples. A lot of times I see it more. I see it a little bit more with women where it interrupts. Men often make use of the anxiety, if you will, in a stress kind of level, and then they kind of act it out, and it just adds to their sexuality, or they take their anxiety and put it into it. Women
Yes.
women more often will get shut down by it and not be able to move forward.
I think I've seen almost exactly that. And my
Mm.
evidence is purely anecdotal from people who are interacting with me,
Okay.
around the podcast. But I
Yeah.
see that exact thing. Women will basically say, like, I've lost my libido, I've lost the
Yeah.
desire, I can't connect with my husband or my partner.
Mhm.
Whereas men will often say, like, oh, that's a huge